Welcome back to the Ross Brolin podcast presented by Brolin Media. I am Ross Brolin here with producer Kade Orris. And I think I strained something in my back, Kade.
Oh, no, that's not good. But you know what helps out with back pain?
What?
If you lick my butthole.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very mature.
Mm-hmm.
What movie is that?
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, yeah.
Yeah. He has shoulder pain, but, you know, it still applies. Any type of pain you have, you just...
Beehole licking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I rock my son to sleep most nights in a chair that is much more suited to my wife, who is much, much smaller than me. And I think too much of sitting in that chair and also doing deadlifts and squats every week like an absolute beast has somehow fucked my back. And I don't know much about fucked backs. Like, I've had shoulder pain before.
Yeah.
But then we all know how that gets fixed. I don't know how to deal with the back thing, though. I do know I'm going to get a massage on Sunday and hope that works. But anyway, shout out to everyone with back issues. Because I've had friends, like, with chronic back pain, and they just don't shut the fuck up about it. They constantly complain about it. And now I understand why. Because it's constant, dull pain.
Right.
You can't get comfortable. Have you ever had any back stuff?
Yeah, dude. I deal with some lower back pain myself. It's been going on for years. It's like on the right side of my lower back.
Mine's on the left side.
Yeah, no idea how to fix it. I
think it's also because I've been carrying my son on only the left side for 2 years now, and it's like cricked my shit up. And there's people listening who are like, "Go to a chiropractor, dumbass." I've never been, and I fear the experience. I've never been to a chiropractor.
Yeah, nope, never been.
I don't know what they're doing in there.
I've seen like the videos on TikTok where they're cracking like every vertebrae in your back, but like that
sounds
freaks me out.
horrifying.
Yeah.
I've also seen the horny chiropractors. You ever get served any of the spicy chiropractor videos on social media? Oh, it's like this dude just like absolutely going in on these women.
Yeah,
but like chiropractic,
breaking their back.
Yeah, but like it's like somehow sexual.
Mm-hmm. Nope, never seen that. I've seen an animal chiropractor.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Neither did I, but he's just like this like fucking huge dude from like Germany or something, and he's just like, again, just doing like chiropractic shit on like all these like dogs and cats, and like he's done it on like snakes and like all these other like exotic animals and stuff.
Snakes?
Yeah.
Aren't they lacking in vertebrae? What do you chiropract on a snake?
Dude, I don't know, but he cracked something in there.
Okay. Well, I'll have to look that guy up. Next time I get served one of those horny chiropractor clips, I'll remember this moment and Google
animal
chiropractor.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some insane headlines of the day, starting with perhaps my favorite insane headline and just overall story of 2024. Here's your headline. Josh Brolin uses nicotine pouches 24 hours a day. You know who Josh Brolin is, right?
Yeah.
He's in Dune.
That's right. He's Thanos.
He's Thanos. He's in No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
He's had quite a career at this point. Probably one of my favorite actors. And this story makes me like him even more because he sounds like a total psycho. So this is from Fox News. See, we're bipartisan here. And I'll read you some of it, or all of it, because all of it is incredible. Josh Brolin, it says, has an affinity for nicotine pouches, and he isn't afraid to talk about it. Brolin, 56, admitted on Mark Maron's WTF podcast that while he gave up chewing tobacco, the pouches have become a constant in his life, and he has them, quote, all over the house. And it's funny that this story was published this week, and then I guess he went on Mark Maron's podcast earlier this week and talked about all this, because I also got served a clip this week. You know how AJ and Meadow Soprano, but you know their real names, whatever, Robert Eiler and
I can't help you.
Meadow Soprano's actress name. They have a podcast here in Austin. Earlier this week, I got served a clip of them talking about how Meadow Soprano's husband sleeps with nicotine pouches in, and he like always has them in. And I was like, damn. And to be fair, I also started doing nicotine pouches after I quit chewing tobacco, and I've never slept with one in intentionally, but I have passed out violently high before with one in my mouth, but it only happened like once, and you wake up and your mouth is just completely dried out. This used to happen to me a lot with dip, though, when I was drinking.
Oh, because you fall asleep.
I would
dip in.
routinely pass out piss drunk with a dip in and wake up with it just like crusted all over my shirt and face, and like it was disgusting, and part of the reason that I quit that habit. But anyway, so there's been a lot of nicotine pouch content thrown at me this week, but this Josh Brolin story takes the cake. He said during the podcast he started mimicking a chewing noise, and he said, "My wife would hear this in the middle of the night. I don't even know I'm doing it. I'm asleep. I have a pouch in my lip, and I'm not fucking lying, 24 hours a day. Then I started taking them out and putting them on the bedside table, which is exactly what I do."
What, to like save for...
No, not to save for later, but like when you're in bed and you're done with one, you just take it out and like put it on the bedside table.
Yeah.
You know, that's
like when you're podcasting, like you'll literally just
sometimes
like leave
I put them on the desk or
Yeah.
like by the soundboard. But it says nicotine pouches contain a powder made of nicotine, flavorings, and other ingredients, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I don't know why we need that information, but the powder dissolves in the mouth, and nicotine is absorbed through the gums and the lining of the mouth. Josh Brolin is worried his young children might start picking up the discarded pouches, but figured it could be a good learning lesson. He said, quote, "If my daughter puts it in her mouth, she's going to get sick. And instead of stopping, I try to teach them, don't do that."
Yeah.
So rather than leading by example, he's just decided they'll learn the lesson on their own.
Yeah, it's like when a kid like touches a hot stove, you know, they learn to not touch the hot stove because they'll burn their hand. Same thing with the nicotine pouches.
Right.
You know,
It'll make you sick.
Yeah.
Mark Maron responded, "Stay away from daddy's shit." And Brolin added, "Daddy needs that." Which I can also identify with, because I've had to stop taking out my tin and putting one in front of my kids because they ask questions about it. And with my stepdaughter, I just this is
You don't say it's like a piece of gum or something like that?
it's maybe the only time I've ever lied to her. She was like, you know, "Daddy, what is that?" And I was like, "It's gum. But it's special gum, only for Daddy, that would make you very, very sick. Never, ever, ever, ever touch this." My son isn't at the question-asking phase of life yet. He just, anytime he sees the can, he points it in and says, "Dad-daz." And I'm like, "That's right, buddy." But full disclosure, I had a scare a couple months back. You remember when I went on that trip over to Port Aransas to the beach for a couple of days?
Sure. I don't think we ever talked about it on the show, maybe.
We maybe did. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Well, we went to Port Aransas to the beach for a couple of days, and before we left, when we were packing, it was kind of chaotic. It's got the 1-year-old in my room running around. My stepdaughter's 5. She's running around. My wife and I are trying to pack, and I don't like packing. I don't know that anybody likes packing. It's the worst thing about traveling is you have to pack. It's fucking annoying. You don't want to forget anything, and when you're my age and when you need contacts and allergy medicine and all the different shit, you got to make sure you don't forget anything. But at one point, my son had been too quiet for a couple of minutes. Like I hadn't heard anything, and I was like, "Where the fuck is he?" And I look over, and he's by my bedside table, and he has my tin, and he's got it out, and he's got it open, and he's like dumping them everywhere, and has one hanging from his lip. And I was like, "No!" And it's the worst parenting mistake I've made so far. But fortunately, for the next like 8 hours, I was terrified because I thought what if he swallowed one? I was like Googling like nicotine poisoning. What happens if a child swallows a nicotine pouch? All this shit, which by the way, yields terrifying. Like the internet answer was like, he could die. And I was like, fuck. So then the whole car ride there, which is like 4 hours, I'm like checking on him every 10 minutes, looking back over my shoulder to his car seat to make sure he's not like puking or passed out or anything. In the end, I don't think he actually got any of it in his mouth, and he was making like a disgusted face with the little one that was like hanging on his lip. But now I keep them much more safely secured because he can climb everywhere. And yeah, so anyway, I understand Josh Brolin's fear here.
Yeah, but why doesn't he just throw them away? Or like, why don't you just like, you don't have like a trash can?
Oh, every morning I take the ones off my bedside table that I used the night before, and they go into the trash.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't know why he's not doing that.
This was the full like can that he like took and somehow fucking opened.
But have like your dogs ever like gotten into?
No, they don't go after that. They just plenty of snacks and food all over the house for them to get into. It says, when Maron asked Brolin if he was worried the pouches may be bad for him, the Brothers star was quick to answer, no. What the hell is Brothers?
No idea. Yeah.
How is that what they reference? It's a 2024 movie. I guess it's a movie he's promoting right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. Brolin detailed some of his struggles with addiction in his upcoming memoir, From Under the Truck is the name of the memoir. I guess he's also promoting that. He said he previously used nicotine lozenges, but switched to pouches after experiencing negative side effects, which are not mentioned. He says, quote, "They taste like gasoline, and they got a punch to them," of the lozenges he's speaking of there.
You ever had the lozenges before?
No
idea.
Never had a nicotine lozenge. I guess it's like a cough drop, but with nicotine. He said, "I used to keep them up by between my gum and my tooth line. I got 7 cavities." Okay.
Well, there's one of the side effects.
There's a reason not to do the lozenges. Yeah, there's the side effect right there. He found himself using questionable pouches while filming in the Middle East recently, it says. Quote, "We're in Jordan, and this guy comes up to me, and he says, 'I have some,' and it has a skull and crossbones on the top, and it's 40 milligram packets." Now, just to be clear, in the United States, you get like 3 milligrams.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 6.
Or 6 milligrams. Or some companies offer like 8 milligrams. And I've even seen 12, which seems like a lot. But 40 is batshit crazy. That is like an insane amount of cigarettes. Like how much nicotine is in one cigarette? It says it can be as low as 6 milligrams and as high as 28 milligrams. So it'd be like at least 2 cigarettes. But Josh Brolin replied to this guy, "I can't do that." And then he continues, "One day I start running out, and I haven't quite run out. I probably have 4 or 5 more 10s left, and I have this thing in my pocket, and I had gone to the gym, and I'm running back from the gym." Brolin didn't want to waste his own pouches, it says, so he tried one of these skull and crossbones 40 milligram pouches that was given to him, and he says, quote, "I stick the thing in my mouth for no more, and I swear to God on my kids, for no more than 20 seconds, and I had to cancel dinner that night. I literally was shitting my brains out. It was fucking crazy."
Because nicotine, it clears out the system,
yeah,
right?
any stimulant, you know, cocaine, coffee, nicotine, they're gonna get the bowels going.
Yeah, flush everything out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the logo it has on the skull and crossbones, I feel like should deter a lot of people, let alone the 40 milligrams.
I'm trying to figure out what brand that even was. Skull and Crossbones. If you Google Skull and Crossbones nicotine pouches, it's just a bunch of Josh Brolin articles now.
Didn't give the brand out. What kind of brand do you think he goes with? You think he's a Zen guy or a Lucy?
I don't know.
You have to get that icebreaker.
Oh, it looks like those are cold mints, not. Never mind. I'm still trying to find the Skull and Crossbones brand. It might be Killa.
Killa?
Yeah.
Damn. It's rough.
Anyway, Josh Brolin. Good stuff there from him on nicotine pouches. Here's your next headline. Man found dead in tanning bed at Planet Fitness 3 days after entering gym. Now, I saw this story going viral on Twitter last night, and I couldn't help myself. It's a little morbid, but it is also quite funny. Even if it is dark comedy.
And it's also in my neck of the woods, too.
Why is that?
Where the story takes place.
Oh, yeah, in Indianapolis. From NBC New York, Indianapolis police are investigating a concerning death that occurred at a Planet Fitness gym. Derek Sink was found dead in a tanning bed at the workout facility 3 days after he entered the building, according to the Marion County Coroner's Office. He was 39, and this is like straight out of Final Destination. I believe Final Destination 2 is the one where...
Sure, I've never seen them, but I do think I remember hearing something about like
I think it was in the trailer, because I definitely didn't see it either, but it's like a young woman getting into a tanning bed, and then it locks, and she just like cooks in there.
Yeah, that's why I don't think I could ever go in a tanning bed.
Just because of that. Being cooked?
Yeah.
And they don't mention if he was cooked or not. Just if you're worried about that being part of the detail here, that's not coming. They don't say why he was cooked. In fact, they say no cause of death has been determined in the case, which is a little weird considering, he was in a fucking tanning bed. It says this man had visited the Planet Fitness on November 8th, and his body was not discovered until the morning of November 11th. His aunt also told the news station that due to him wearing an ankle monitor, investigators determined that he never left the gym after his arrival. And then they don't go into specifics about it, but like
why he has the ankle
I'm
monitor
assuming
on.
he was on like parole or house arrest or whatever, some type of federal fucking ankle monitoring situation, which makes it all the more weird and kind of funny to me. 2 days after going to the gym, Sink was reported missing by his family, according to the police records. And then this is where it gets pretty dark. Elizabeth Lynn, a local woman who was visiting the Indianapolis Planet Fitness on the morning of Sink's discovery, said she detected a bad smell after entering the building on November 11th before realizing it was coming from the tanning beds. And she said, quote, "The tanning bed has a door, I believe, but still, why are we not concerned that the tanning bed has been closed for 3 days potentially?" Some of the details I found on Twitter, which are not included in this article, stated that like one person said they were basically, the accusation is that they were allegedly walking past this tanning bed and being like, oh, okay, this one smells, and just spraying it with Febreze and moving on. Meanwhile, there was a corpse inside because this guy had died. Yeah. And Planet Fitness put out a statement giving their condolences and emphasized their dedication to protecting their gym members, which I don't think would make me feel better if I was a member
probably
of this
not.
particular gym.
Might cancel that Planet Fitness membership actually.
Yeah.
But no, that's crazy. Like
They just stayed
because
open.
like
They were open, and he's in there for
and there's
multiple
other
days.
people going to the other tanning beds, and they're
beds,
like,
hitting a
I'm not
workout.
gonna use that one.
Yeah.
And like no one knows that like one person has been there. Like they could think like, oh, there's like multiple people throughout the day going to that.
Just happens
that
to
one.
always be closed.
Yeah. That's
that
crazy.
dude was in
but
there.
yeah, no, he probably was getting cooked in there. If I
I don't know if there's got to be a way to turn it off from the inside.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
I've never used a
like,
tanning bed. I don't know how it works.
No idea.
But there's
Did
no
it, like,
way.
like lock or like
There's no way you've like turned it on. I don't know. That's the thing. That's why I'm so shocked they haven't like released the cause of death with the story, or at least some like, because it's a completely different story if he like had a heart attack versus if he got locked in the tanning bed and final destinationed.
yeah, or maybe like a drug overdose kind of. Actually, no, probably not. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably a good place to be high in the
Yeah.
tanning bed because it's boring in there. You know, drugs make boring things more fun.
That is true. But damn,
Famously.
my gym doesn't have any tanning bags. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Although I
Well,
probably want to use one ever after this
certainly
story.
not now.
But
If you're going to a
just-
tanning bed this weekend, stay safe. Maybe just keep a finger out. You know,
just have one finger that's just pale white. You're all
you should never go. You should never go to the tanning bed without an accountability buddy.
yeah.
That's the move. Last headline: Pirates of Pittsburgh offer 30 years of season tickets and more for one-of-one Paul Skenes rookie card. Is that how you say his last name? Skenes?
I believe so, yes.
Skenes?
Yeah.
Skenes, rookie pitcher, famous dude, throws gas, triple-digit gas, dating Livy
Olivia
Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, famed mediocre collegiate gymnast who has a huge social media following. So this story's been everywhere today, but I'm just going to read part of from Bleacher Report. The Pittsburgh Pirates announced on Friday, today, that they are offering a package of perks, including 30 years worth of season tickets at PNC Park. And not just any season tickets. Like, they're not in the fucking nosebleeds. They're like really, really good seats, like in the front. In exchange for a coveted one-of-one Paul Skenes rookie card. The card in question is part of the 2024 Topps Chrome update set that released this week. In addition to being one-of-one, the card features Paul's autograph and the MLB debut patch he wore on his jersey during his first MLB regular season game. So here's what you get if you find this rookie card. This is like the ultimate, if you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, it's the closest you're going to get to like a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory situation. If you find this card and bring it to PNC Park, they are going to give you 2 Pirates season tickets behind home plate for the next 30 years, a softball game for 30, like you can bring 30 friends, or 29 friends, at PNC Park with coaching from Pirates alumni included. So like you get to do a full-blown like fantasy softball setup inside the Pirates stadium and have ex-Pirates coaches and alumni like be the coaches on each team, which would be sick. You get a private tour of Pirates City and Leckham Park, which is, I think it's their spring training facility. A meet and greet with Paul, the pitcher. 2 autographed jerseys of Paul's. You get to take batting practice and warm up with the team and other unique experiences. And then on top of this, Livy Dunn raised the stakes and said the person who finds the card can sit with her at a Pirates game in her suite. So she has a suite at the Pirates game.
I figured. They in the star picture.
I guess she's rich enough, too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one hell of a deal. I obviously don't have any idea how much that rookie card is worth or could be worth in the future.
Right.
And if it but 30 years of season tickets? Behind home plate season tickets are usually like...
Gotta be like one of the most expensive tickets out
upwards of... I'm very confident you're spending at least $50,000 a season to be in that area, season tickets wise. So I don't know how much the rookie card is worth, or if you like that. I would take the deal.
Yeah, but this is only like if you're a Pirates fan, I would take the deal. But if you're not, it's like I would just try to sell it.
I guess that is part of the problem. What are the odds that the card is actually in the hands of a Pirates fan?
I guess like anyone might take that sweet deal with Livy Dunn.
Yeah.
That might be worth it.
I'm trying to figure out how they could possibly determine where the card is, though.
Yeah, and like it just dropped this week. It's really gonna be like a Willy Wonka announcement, like when someone got the golden ticket, like it's all over the news, and like this will be the same thing.
If the person who pulls the card is willing to give it to the Pirates organization, the Pirates revealed Friday that they will provide the person with 30 years of season tickets for 2 behind home plate, a softball game for 30, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it doesn't say shit about why they think it could potentially be in the area even.
Yeah, unless
they know the pack is in Pittsburgh somewhere?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear more about this, see what comes of it.
They say Topps believes the card could ultimately be worth 6 figures depending on how his career progresses. Given how dominant he was as a rookie, the card may very well fetch 6 figures right out of the pack.
Meaning, what they're offering is...
Meaning it is no guarantee that the collector who pulls it takes the Pirates up on their offer, it says. So yeah, who knows? I don't know. But that's why they had to throw 30 years at it. Because it's worth a lot, turns out.
Crazy. Yeah, you just had his rookie year, and like it's already...
If there was an Astros version of this, dude, I would be fucking snatching up cards.
You'd just be buying boxes of Topps cards.
Yeah, dude. I'd be the guy in Willy Wonka that has the factory that makes all the workers open chocolate bars.
Yep. That's just gonna be Bowl Media for the next several weeks.
We're all content production comes to a halt.
Yeah.
And it's just you, me, Dan the ad salesman, and J Bone opening packs of cards for 8 hours a day.
Were you a big card collector?
Oh yeah,
back in the day? Oh, I know you have that one book out there.
I've got a couple of books out there filled, but I have like probably 4 or 5 big ass boxes that are specifically made to hold trading cards.
Yeah,
filled in my dad's house somewhere. That he like showed up with them one day at home. I still remember being a little kid and he came home and was like, I got some deal. Some guy sold him a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card signed, and then like 4 boxes of cards that probably have like 1,000 cards in each box or something. So I went through all those. That's where the ones that are in the books at the front of Bowling Media came from.
Gotcha.
Point being, I was a huge baseball, basketball, football card even guy.
Yeah, me too. Me and my brother, we both had like our own like book just filled with trading cards. I don't think I ever had like any like crazy ones like autographed, or like some will have like the jersey like in the corner of it. I never had like anything like that, unfortunately.
I have some good shit.
Yeah,
but none of the new age.
I haven't
jersey patch inclusion craziness.
Yeah, I haven't been buying any trading cards recently. I know Jared's been into that a little bit with the F1 stuff.
Yeah, Jared.
I don't know if
Jared got big into it during the pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know if he got anything crazy from it either, though.
I feel like card pulling faded out a little over the past couple years after getting really, really hot in 2020 and 2021.
But hey, it might be back again. Gotta get that Paul Skenes rookie card.
Paul Skenes, man. He's really doing it. Living the dream. Look good, feel good, play good. Everybody knows that's how it works, but finding high-quality basics for your wardrobe online that actually fit well, not too tight, not too baggy, can be a huge pain in the ass. That's where today's sponsor, True Classic, comes in and makes you look and feel so much better. I'm a pretty simple dude when it comes to clothes. I don't need much, but shopping for clothes can be so defeating when the shit you buy ends up being ridiculously expensive, and then when it arrives, it actually looks like crap on you. True Classic delivers the opposite of that experience. Their shirts are high quality and unbelievably comfortable. This week I've worn one of their long sleeve Henleys, and it was heavenly, and one of their crew neck tees as well. Kade actually currently has on one of their sweaters. Look at that. If you're watching on YouTube, it's hot. And pants. Kade's got some pants on too, and he looks sharp when he usually looks like an absolute bum in here. Sorry, Kade. I'm huge on t-shirts. They comprise like 90% of my wardrobe, and nobody has better looking or more comfortable t-shirts than True Classic. The Henleys are great. The crew necks are perfect. They got V-necks, long sleeve Henleys, sweaters, hoodies, literally everything you could possibly want or need with premium quality and premium fit. I got my latest order of True Classic in the mail last week, wore it around the house all last weekend, and even my wife was like, "Is that new? It looks great on you." Underwear, jackets, socks, jeans, polos, joggers. True Classic is your one-stop shop for everything you need. The holidays are here, and True Classic's ultra-comfortable, perfect-fitting essentials make for the perfect gift for you and the other men in your life. So if you're ready to upgrade your closet, shop now and unlock big savings during their huge holiday sale. Just go to their exclusive link just for the RBP gang at trueclassic.com/Ross to save. That's trueclassic.com/Ross. They've got crazy deals going on right now, so go check them out. Please support our show and tell them we sent you when you're checking out. End the year with holiday cheer thanks to True Classic.
Grab your light, this is Stuff the Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff the Wikipedia when you're high.
Today's Stuff to Wikipedia when you're high is John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. John Montagu, 4th Earl of Sandwich, was a British statesman who succeeded his grandfather Edward Montagu, 3rd Earl of Sandwich, as the Earl of Sandwich in 1729 at the age of 10. It's a lot of responsibility for a 10-year-old. He held various military and political offices during his life, including Postmaster General, First Lord of the Admiralty, whatever, and Secretary of State for the Northern Department, which everyone is familiar with.
Of course,
Kade knows the Northern Department probably better than anybody. He's also known for the claim that he was the inventor of the sandwich, which is obviously what we're here to discuss today, more than any of the other details of his life. But we'll give you some of them. John Montagu was born in 1718, the son of Edward Montagu, Viscount Hitchingbrook. His father died when John was 4, leaving him as his heir. His mother soon remarried, and he had little further contact with her, which is fucked up. That's what? What? Just slip that right in there. He succeeded his grandfather as Earl of Sandwich in 1729 at the age of 10. He was educated at Eton and Trinity College, Cambridge, and spent some time traveling, initially going on the grand tour around continental Europe before visiting the more unusual destinations of Greece, Turkey, and Egypt, which were then part of the Ottoman Empire. This led him to later found a number of Orientalist societies, but nobody cares about any of this stuff, his political life. Let's just skip to the good stuff. Sandwich retired in 1782. And it says, despite holding a number of important posts during his career, Sandwich's incompetence and corruption were legendary, inspiring the saying, quote, "Seldom has any man held so many offices and accomplished so little."
Sounds like most of our politicians today.
Yeah, it's a common sentiment these days. Some historians have suggested that Lord Sandwich, just an incredible name.
That's a great name.
Lord Sandwich was not perhaps as incompetent as suggested, but that previous historians have placed too much emphasis on sources from his political enemies. The age-old to the victor go the spoils / writing of the history books situation. Anyway, the modern sandwich is named after Lord Sandwich, but the circumstances of its invention and original use are the subject of debate. A rumor in a contemporaneous travel book by Pierre-Jean Grosly, Tour to London, formed the popular myth that bread and meat sustained Lord Sandwich at the gambling table. But Sandwich had many bad habits, including the Hellfire Club, and any story may be a creation after the fact. So apparently the guy was a degenerate gambler.
Yeah,
Right?
sounds
The Hellfire
like it.
Club is some kind of like elite casino type situation over there, across the pond.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why that accent just came into play. Lord Sandwich was a very conversant gambler, the story goes, and he did not take the time to have a meal during his long hours playing at the card table. And if you've ever been in a casino at a blackjack table or a Texas Hold'em and you're on a heater or just locked in or wasted, it can be tough to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to get up.
No. It can't be focused on other stuff. It can't be focused on eating.
Just winning.
Yeah, just winning.
Stacking
Winning's all that
chips.
matters. Yeah.
So, consequently, because Lord Sandwich didn't want to leave, he would ask his servants to bring him slices of meat between 2 slices of bread, a habit known among his gambling friends. So he'd be like, fetch me bread and meat. They didn't have a name for it at that point, though, Other people, according to this account, began to order the same as sandwich. So he's at the table, you and me are at the table, and I yell it out, bread and meat? And then you say,
The same as sandwich.
and boom, that's how the sandwich
sandwich
was
made.
born. I'll have a sandwich.
Mm.
This is fucking this guy. Now, the sober alternative to this account is provided by Sandwich's biographer, N.A.M. Roger, who suggests that Sandwich's commitments to the Navy, to politics, and to the arts mean that the first sandwich was more likely to have been consumed at his work desk. So there's only 2 versions you can go with here. One is that Lord Sandwich was such a degenerate gambler that he couldn't be made to leave the table, so his servants would bring him the first ever sandwich for him to eat while he was gambling. And then other people started saying, the same as sandwich. The other account is that he was so diligent with his work in the arts and in politics and to the Navy that he didn't want to leave his desk.
Mm. Well, couldn't both be true? If he's just like at his desk at work, he's probably like got his own office. No one else knows that he's like
Both
eating a
could be
sandwich.
true. Both could be true.
But
it
also,
is
I feel
funny.
like the latter is less likely to be true because they just said before that like he wasn't committed to
yes,
the Navy and politics and all that.
But that may be the result of his enemies
oh,
being the ones who wrote that history.
okay.
So nobody. The lesson is nobody knows anything.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No. It's kind of a basic ass sandwich though. Just some meat and
Well, you
bread.
got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Then over the years, the sandwich
They add
becomes a
the-
more extravagant situation.
Add the cheese and the lettuce, maybe some mayo, or do a little BLT. Do we know the first person to make a BLT?
Oh, that's a good question. I bet they were hung.
Serve bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes.
Not like Big Dick hung,
Yeah.
like hung like at the neck because that was an insane move. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato?
Yeah.
The first person to put bacon, lettuce, and tomato on a sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably got killed.
Probably got killed for it.
Killed dead.
So I'm also a little confused here. His last name
His last name is
Sandwich. Well, it
is
says Montague. And then
he's
Earl.
the Earl of Sandwich. So once you become the Earl of Sandwich, they call you Lord Sandwich.
So sandwich was just like a word before it became the name of something when you have 2 pieces of bread and meat put together.
It's a town in England. Sandwich.
Oh, so he's the Earl. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they would say the same as sandwich, as Lord Sandwich.
I wonder.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. I've never heard of Sandwich before. The town, obviously. They need to capitalize on this. Like, how is it that Sandwich? I guess it's a town in southeast England. That Sandwich is not world renowned for their sandwiches. This should be a place that's getting constant tourist activity because they've got the best sandwiches in the world.
Right. No.
In every possible kind,
Mm-hmm.
Just shops up and down the street, different sandwich shops. One's just different BLTs. One's fucking ham.
Just ham and cheese. You got a Cuban sandwich.
All of the
All of the sandwiches.
shove
whatever.
a fucking Subway in there if you must, but preferably not a bunch of corporate sandwiches.
Yeah.
We want
like the
good
mom and
stuff.
pop,
Yeah,
locally owned shops.
Yes,
Yeah, and just sandwiches. No other restaurants can.
No,
can
that's
be
the
allowed
only
to,
thing this place should be doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they are doing that. We just don't know.
No, I'm on their Wikipedia.
It doesn't say they specialize in sandwich making.
No, in fact, it says the local economy has benefited from significant investment by, none of you could possibly guess, Pfizer, the multinational pharmaceutical company Pfizer, which built a research and development center near Sandwich employing over 3,000 people. Laboratory experiments at the site aroused negative comment by animal rights activists. On June 18, 2007, Pfizer announced it would move the Sandwich Animal Health Center, Sandwich Animal Health Research Division, to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Several important drugs, including Viagra, Pfizer's treatment for erectile dysfunction, Maraviroc, a drug used for the treatment of HIV, and the horse warmer Strongid P were developed here. That's the only thing listed in their economy on Wikipedia. So they are not capitalizing the way they should be. Instead, they're taking big pharma money and making the world a worse place.
Damn, very sad.
Yeah.
Also, just another thing. So he says it's on sliced bread, and I've always heard the saying, "No, it's the best thing since sliced bread." So like maybe, or when did sliced bread get invented? And was there someone that made the sandwich before John
would have
Montague?
been, so the sliced bread was invented on July 7th, 1928, which means that prior to that, any sandwich would have been made with
just like 2 giant loaves of bread. Is that?
and maybe they just split the loaf down the middle, and then
Oh, so more like a what?
no,
like
I'm guessing it's like torn bread, because it's not sliced, so they would just tear it apart.
Oh, okay.
They'd tear slices out with their bare hands. That's a great. My question is, what the fuck did people do with bread before it was sliced?
Yeah. See, I just picture just 2 giant loaves of bread and then just like some meat in between them. So it looks like they just have like a giant sandwich.
It looks like I'm not the first person to ask this question. Before sliced bread, people made sandwiches by hand, slicing a piece of bread with a knife each time they wanted one. Oh, okay, so now I'm following along what's happening here. Before sliced bread, you could still slice bread.
Right.
It just wasn't sold that way.
Oh, so they just came in like the full loaf.
And then
not
you
like
chop
today.
your own slices.
Okay.
You had to do your own slices. So I think that's where
So sliced bread's been around for
always,
yeah.
because you
Technically.
guess you could have just gone at it like a psycho without any slices. But like if you wanted a sandwich or a small piece of bread, you had to slice.
Right. Or you just take a bite out of the loaf and you just like set it away for later.
Everybody had their own loaf.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. What year did I just say?
1928.
1928. Man, that's not that long ago.
No, it really isn't.
We're coming up on the 100-year anniversary of the
And nothing's
invention
been
of
better
sliced
since
bread.
sliced bread.
Nothing has ever beaten it.
Nothing's come close.
No. We thought it would be the internet, but that's been a fucking nightmare.
Honestly, probably what's the worst thing? Because I think the internet.
The internet is the worst thing since sliced bread, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since the invention of sliced bread, nothing worse has happened than the internet.
Yes.
I guess there are some arguments that could be made there.
Just yeah.
Like the Holocaust.
Yeah. No. There's
World
probably,
Wars 1 and 2.
But we're talking about like inventions, not like tragedies. Maybe the invention of the nuclear bomb that could be up there.
Yeah.
But
You can see that story unfold in the movie Oppenheimer,
right, which
Made
The
by
Rock saw.
Christopher Nolan, and recently viewed by The Rock. We talked about this on Patreon this week, so if you don't know what we're talking about, that's on you. But I had another thought occur to me. If you're Christopher Nolan and his wife, who clearly set The Rock up with this viewing situation, and he drops that quote publicly that he literally compares Oppenheimer to Red One. Wouldn't you probably not be like cool with. I don't think I think I would be insulted if I was
Probably,
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, like one of the best filmmakers of all time.
Like Red One, dude. Really,
Oppenheimer, one of the
best picture,
critically
best actor.
acclaimed, yeah, all that stuff. And then The Rock is throwing it in there with Red One.
with a massive failure. Red
Yeah.
One.
Already, without even...
No, it's
I think it comes out like this weekend or
It's
something.
like today or something,
Yeah.
but they know already, like based on opening weekend ticket sales, like it's
They're
a fucking,
not-
it's flopping.
yeah.
Nobody's going to see that.
No.
Thanksgiving hasn't even happened. Pumping out Red One. Why wouldn't it come out like in December?
Well, I think they do like
Does this always happen with Christmas
Christmas
movies?
movie. They start to drop them in like November.
Would you go see a Christmas movie right now?
I mean, maybe a good one. But I don't think there's any good ones that are coming
There
out.
really are.
Can't remember the last good Christmas movie that
There've
came
been
out.
some. There's like Four Christmases and shit. Remember that
yeah,
one?
yeah.
People like that one.
I like that one.
Elf was fairly.
Yeah, but that was like
2000.
2000. I'm talking about like within like the last like 5 years. Like I don't think there's been anything that's like.
I don't know if there have been.
Yeah, we're really lacking in the Christmas spirit.
It's not an easy thing to nail,
Mm-mm.
you know?
No, like horror movies, I feel like you're always getting those in October. Like that's a pretty easy sell. But yeah, Christmas movies are tough.
What the fuck is this? Netflix just put one out called Hot Frosty.
What? I feel like I'm gonna get
When a widow named Kathy magically brings a snowman to life, his innocence helps her heal and find love again.
So this is
They
just
bond before the holidays, but he's doomed to melt. Please tell me that the love she finds is not the snowman who is hot. And if that is the case,
I think it is gonna. Yeah.
do they?
Do they bang? Is that what you're asking?
Oh my God! It is the snowman is
Oh,
the
yeah.
hot is
Yeah.
is the hot guy.
It's Hot Frosty.
He's jacked.
Yeah, he's huge. He's ripped. I see
Damn,
one
he's
pic. He doesn't even have
shirtless
a shirt on.
rooftop? Yeah,
No shirt, but he has a scarf on.
yeah, around the waist.
Oh, I'm seeing it around the neck, but yeah.
Oh, well, you gotta have some element of frosty going, you know, so the scarf stays on no matter what else is
Scarf
going
stays
on.
on during sex.
Yeah. Hot frosty. That's where we're at.
That's.
I wonder if it will outperform Red, One.
Well, I mean, probably not because it's on Netflix But who knows? I don't know. It has a 100% on Rotten
It
Tomatoes.
has a built-in audience on Netflix.
Yeah.
It has
The Rock has a
Rotten
huge.
Tomatoes is dead.
Yeah.
This is no
The
longer.
Rock has a huge audience though, so I think maybe he might be able to
just shove it down everyone's throats enough to
Yeah.
get everyone to go see it
Mm-hmm.
by making desperate comparisons to one of the finest films of the past 20 years.
Yeah, people who don't like know film all that well, they'll be like, "Oh wow, Oppenheimer, that's a really great film."
That's
I'm
a
sure
good point, Kade.
The Red One will also be just as good, if not better.
We have proven as a people that we are not the smartest crayons in the box, brightest either. And maybe people will fall for that pitch that The Rock threw out there.
Yeah. But no, this Hot Frosty is giving me just like Hallmark, just cheesy Christmas movies. Which there's a bunch on Hulu right now. I thought about just getting really high and just like powering through those. But
I bet some of them are fun as hell.
Yeah.
My question about Hot Frosty, where's the top hat?
Yeah. Also, I'm looking at the like Frosty is just he almost looks like a sculpture in this. Like
Yeah.
it's not like the typical like snowman you see with the
No.
three.
He's like a Greek sculpture type of snowman. But this is confusing. When Frosty the Snowman, when you put the top hat on his head, he begins to dance and shout. He comes alive.
Yeah.
But he still remains a snowman.
Yeah, he doesn't become
A regular man.
Yeah.
Because then the story wouldn't make any fucking sense. Because what happens is when winter ends, Frosty melts
Right.
because he's a fucking snowman. What the hell happens to this guy who is clearly flesh and blood, jacked flesh, no less? When it gets hot at the end of the film,
Well,
do we get to watch him melt like
Well, I
flesh
think
and blood?
he's hotter.
He's
so-
hot Frosty.
Yeah, so
You think he can handle the
he
heat?
can handle the heat because he's
He's-
hot Frosty.
He's hot Frosty. How does this get made? How does shit like this get made though?
Yeah.
I really have never understood that about Hollywood. Like, hot Frosty slips through the cracks. The
Yeah.
fucking tagline is "It took a snowman to melt her heart." Just to be clear, if I die, honey, if you're listening, if I die, you do not have my permission to fall in love with a mythical snowman with abs. That is bullshit.
Oh, that's the plot. So like her husband dies and she falls
She's
in
a
love
widow.
Okay.
She's widow Kathy.
Widow Kathy.
And she magically brings a snowman that's actually a snow sculpture to life.
Mm-hmm.
And his innocence helps her heal. And if they don't fuck, this movie is this is the dumbest thing. This never should have been made. He's doomed to melt.
Do you think his
in her mouth?
Okay.
This has to be made into a porn. This is a porn. This is
think-
an idea for a porn that
you think
somehow
his
turned into a Netflix
penis is a
movie.
carrot? That's where the carrot's at.
His balls are 2 lumps of coal. They have to do a carrot penis joke in this movie, right? Fuck, this is going to end with me having to watch this movie.
I might have to.
Craig Robinson is in it.
Yeah, and
He'll take any job, bro. He is the Shaq of acting. What is he doing in this? He's legitimately funny. The Frosty's name is Jack Snowman? That's not... It's just Frosty.
Wait, isn't
Jack Frost
Jack
is
Frost.
a totally fucking different character. Trying to see if this Dusty Milligan character who plays Hot Frosty has been in anything else, and oh my God, I recognize him. He was in Schitt's Creek, which is a fantastic comedy. He's the vet. He's the hot vet. He's gone from hot veterinarian to hot Frosty.
I mean, yeah. I might have to watch this. Is it out now?
I think it is.
Oh, I know what I'm doing this
Hot
weekend.
Frosty release date. I can't believe this is how we're ending the show.
Oh, yeah. November 13th. Or at least that's what it
Sick.
says on
It came out
Google.
2 days ago.
Let's go.
It's not doing so hot in the ratings department, but that's to be expected. People hate on the hot,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking what the fuck? We're lost. We've lost the plot.
Yep.
Let's just walk away.
Let's get out of here.
All right, that'll do it for today's show. Everybody enjoy Hot Frosty this weekend with your loved ones. The holiday movie of the decade, Hot Frosty, starring the vet from Schitt's Creek as a hot version of Frosty the Snowman. We'll be back next week with more RBP. Remember, every week we drop an ad-free episode on patreon.com/Ross Brolin podcast, which Kade and I actually did yesterday. So that's already available. If you want to hop on patreon.com/Ross Brolin podcast now, you can sign up for a 7-day free trial. Enjoy this week's ad-free exclusive episode, and then the hundreds that preceded it, because there are literally hundreds in there. And if you're like, you know what, the ad-free episodes aren't for me, that's fine. It's 7 days free, and then you can just cancel and not be charged anything. Usually on Patreon, we take hotline calls from the RBP gang, our listeners, and we respond to their ridiculous prompts. And we have a good time over there on patreon.com/Ross Brolin podcast. Also, please support our sponsors. We have a new sponsor today, True Classic. Go to trueclassic.com/Ross, access their huge holiday sale. Stock up on the essentials that True Classic does better than anybody else. Check out our other shows here at Brolin Media. If you're an F1 fan, check out Jared J-Bone Borislow over on Formula Bone, which you can watch on youtube.com/@FormulaBone or listen to on the podcast platforms or follow @FormulaBone on social media. If you love F1, you will love Formula Bone. If you loved Jared, you will love Formula Bone. If you're a Houston sports fan, check out my Houston sports podcast, Banging the Can, where every week I bitch and moan about the Texans' incompetency. If you're a fan of the televisions and the shows that the televisions provide, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles is hosted by me and one of my best friends of over 25 years now, Barrett Dudley. We just recently wrapped up our coverage of The Penguin Season 1, which was on HBO. We do a companion podcast episode for every single episode of the TV show we are covering. We are starting coverage next week of Dune Prophecy. So if you loved Dune and the sandworms and the then you'll love our coverage of Dune Prophecy on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever you get your RBP. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolin. On Twitter and Instagram, Mr. Orris, where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Kade Orris. That's KadeOrris.
This episode of RBP is presented by Hot Santa and Brolin. I'm making the sequel already. Hot, Frosty, and Brolin Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the-Ross-Bolin-Podcast to watch our show. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you, and also with you.